What is going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are going over the new update that just landed a couple days ago in Rise of Kingdoms. I wanted to wait to make this video because I wanted to do my own research on what I think was going to be best, because in this video we are talking about barbarians versus barbarian forts and what you should be focusing on. Because in case you're living under a rock, barbarians in the home kingdom now go up to level 40. And so the rewards you were getting from barbarians are now substantially higher, and you also have higher level barbarian forts that you're able to rally with your alliance members. So in this video, we are going to be discussing why you'd be focusing on barbarian forts, or why you'd be focusing more on barbarians in Rise of Kingdoms in 2024 during your home kingdom off seasons. Now, right now, I am still relatively new to 1846. You can see I still don't have a lot of resources. We got our first registration pop. I'm hoping we do not go for this one because I need some more time to, get more resources, continue saving up on speed ups. But as you can see here, we are doing a ton of barbarian forts. And there is a reason why for that. Because the rewards you get from barbarian forts don't just benefit you, but they benefit your entire alliance members. And when you are able to bring in farm accounts, like right now I have one of my farm accounts here, that is going to be joining as many rallies as possible. What we are doing is we are filtering in different farm accounts when you are online. And when you're able to join all these barbarian forts, you are getting resources for your main account by defeating the barbarian fort, but also you are making sure we have this maxed out all the time, constantly collecting these in order to get more of these alliance gifts. We have been opening up 2 to 3 of these every single day, which these are going to be giving between 16 and 20 hours of speed ups to everybody in the alliance. So in this way, barbarian forts are still going to be phenomenal for your overall alliance. And before we talk about barbarians, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video. This video is sponsored by Galaxy Conquest, an all-new competitive mobile strategy game. In Galaxy Conquest, you fight amongst other players for glory. And the beauty is diplomacy, espionage, betrayal, it's all fair game. In each season, there are brand new maps, new features, new mechanics, new ships, new commanders, and more. The only constant in this game is change. So if you love experiencing the latest and greatest games that are constantly adding new features and new mechanics, you will absolutely love playing Galaxy Conquest. Click the link down below in the description and also the pinned comment to download it today. Huge shout out to Galaxy Conquest for sponsoring this video. And again, if this sounds like fun to you, click the link down below. I think you're going to have a blast playing Galaxy Conquest. But so many people are also messaging me asking, is barbarian chaining like completely OP now in the home kingdom? And the answer is yes. I've been testing out both to see what is going to be the best case scenario. And what I have found is that the sev wounds that you get from barbarian forts are pretty high. And the reality is, like, you are going to be spending more resources by doing barbarian forts. But the caveat with that is that you are going to be benefiting your entire alliance. And that is what kind of outweighs it, because I mean, you still get the AP recovery, which is phenomenal. And during your off season, you should be trying to get these AP recovery pots in order to be using them in the Lost Kingdom, because obviously using them in the Lost Kingdom or using them for Marauders is still going to be the best way to spend your AP. But if you are able to be chaining as well during, whether it's during events, or whether you just have some downtime and people aren't really joining rallies or not really launching barbarian forts, like some people don't really have super active alliances where you constantly have more than 10 rallies going. Like, not everybody has that. So I understand that. So I'm going to be talking to those people too. But when you look at, your ability to chain, you are going to be getting a lot of speed ups. Pretty much every single time you chain, you're going to be getting like upwards of an hour to 3 hours of speed ups. And that's a lot. Like, I mean, look at this. This one alone, we get 7 barbarians. We have 8 minutes, we have 50 minutes, we have 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, and 8 minutes. This is a pretty low one in the grand scheme of things. There's other ones that I have where I'm going to be getting like 2 hours of speed ups in one chain. Like this chain, I have 10. But if you notice, you are also getting materials, which is crazy. We haven't been able to get materials in the home kingdom besides Marauders. So the fact that you're also getting materials from these is pretty crazy, but also healing speed ups. You're getting healing speed ups from these barbarians. And so in my opinion, chaining is even better than it was before. And before in home kingdom, obviously chaining wasn't really something that people were doing unless you were extremely, extremely bored. And in that case, like, yeah, people were chaining. But I mean, when you look at this, like, you are getting so many more speed ups, so many more resources, you're getting materials, you're getting more gems. So chaining is going to be even better. And we have more commanders now as well that make it easier to chain. Like right now, the two that I've been using in the home kingdom are going to be Zuj and Shajar. Plus we are getting the alliance gifts as well. So you're getting more resources here. You're helping the alliance continue to get more of these crystals, and you're probably going to get some AP from that as well. And so when you are able to join Barbarian Forts with farm accounts, it just gets so much better. Now, one of the biggest downsides to this update, in my opinion, as somebody who was doing this, is that I can no longer launch Barbarian Forts with my farm accounts. Not many people were doing that. I personally was. I know a lot of other people were, but most people were not. Is that like you can't launch Barbarian Forts with your farm accounts now. Like I can't launch a level 10 Barbarian Fort with this account and win. Unless I fill it with 2 million troops, which I can't even do. But even then, I'm going to take so many Sev wounds, it's just not even going to be worth it. So for me now, in order to, join Barbarian Forts, I actually have to join the main alliance and join myself launching Barbarian Forts. So that does kind of suck that, you can't do this on your farm account anymore, but you are getting more resources in the first place. Plus, if you aren't going to be joining Barbarian Forts, you can still hit Barbarians and get a ton of resources. So that's the other thing you can think about is like, I can't start rallies, but I can go ahead and, hit Barbarians because these rewards are going to be great as well. But not only that, getting speed ups. Getting a ton of speed ups will be great for you to train troops for your kingdom to be able to send to die in flags. And there are a couple other updates that I do want to discuss here as well. One of the biggest ones that I haven't really seen people talk about is that city skins no longer have the negative effects. So now Twilight Falls, you are not losing 10% infantry attack, you are just getting 5% skill damage. And so that is honestly huge. Like, troop defense plus healing speed. You're not losing cav attack anymore. Like this is phenomenal to be using. And so many people are going to be getting huge benefits from this. And it's just honestly probably one of the best things they've done, in my opinion. Probably one of the best. I think this is just phenomenal and honestly makes some of these newer skins just so much better. You have like troop defense and AP recovery. Like that's crazy. This skin is so good. And so these Zenith skins are getting so much better. Now pretty much every single Zenith skin is going to be that much more competitive because there is no downside. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's going to be great that, people are going to be able to push for those Zenith skins and get a lot more bang for their buck essentially. And, it will make it sad because obviously the amount of power you're going to need for those Zenith skins is going to go up substantially because there is no downside anymore. And so, there are going to be pros and cons, but I think by and large, the fact that you are going to get no negative consequences from Zenith skins or from city skins in general, I think is a fantastic thing. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on is the different commanders, because they did change the look of some commanders in the icons, which personally, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't really think they needed to do that, but, maybe it felt like they just needed something to change as well. But personally, I don't really see any value in that besides just confusing people. Like, wait, why did these commanders change their icons? Why do they look so different? For me personally, I don't love it. It'll take a little bit, of time to get used to it. But I just think it was interesting that they did change these. Also, I think it's weird that, Double C's hand is like half of his icon. I don't really understand that. I think I like the other ones better, but maybe that's just me personally. Let me know what you guys think about that down below, because for me, it just looks weird. I mean, obviously, who they are still. It's not like they changed them so drastically. It's like, who is this commander? They still look the same, just a little different. For me, I don't really love it. But for all the things you could be, upset about, like, oh, I don't like that, it's a very minor thing to be worried about. But let me know what you guys think about this update. If there's anything else you want me to cover, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I'm happy to make another video on this if you want me to. But let me know what you guys think about these updates, what you think about Barbarian Forts versus Barbarians. For me personally, I think for your alliance, if you are like-minded in your alliance, you're going to be doing Barbarian Forts as much as possible. But, obviously there are going to be some players that want that extra value, that need that extra value, specifically probably free-to-play players that need to be chaining in the home kingdom because you're going to get a lot more benefit from those chains in order to, get speed ups, get materials that they really need that you're not getting from the Barbarian Forts. Plus, the cost of barbarian forts are going to be higher than the barbarian. So you have to take that into consideration. But for me personally, I think barbarian forts are the way to go if you are doing it with your alliance, because the whole alliance is going to be benefiting if you're doing barbarian forts versus if you're doing barbarians, you're the only one that is benefiting, which there's worse things you could be doing than chaining in the home kingdom. But now chaining in the home kingdom is something that is very, very good. So it's going to be up to each person. For me, like I said, personally, I'm doing barbarian forts and chaining, a little bit of a mixture, but mostly doing barbarian forts because I think just the value is so much greater. But thank you guys for checking out the video and have a great rest of your day.